Well, hello once again, my friends, my fellow historians, and my fellow ship lovers. I'd like to welcome you to another video, and this is going to be about a ship from the Canada Steamship Company. Now, I had done a video, I had gotten some film off of eBay during the summer, and I had seen a steamship on it, and I was curious if there would be other steamships that were filmed. This was a 16mm film that I had gotten in, and then I scanned each individual cell and I reanimated it. Well, I discovered that the ship in the film was in fact the Simcoe. This was distinguishable because of her smokestack. It was very round and very straight. Well, she belonged to the Canada Steamship Company. The Canada Steamship Lines has a long-standing history with the St. Lawrence Seaways. This goes back to the very first days of operations. On April 25th of 1959, CSL's bulk carrier Simcoe became the first commercial vessel to transit St. Lambert Lock. The Simcoe was followed closely by Lambert, another CSL bulk carrier. One of the most challenging engineering feats of its time, the St. Lawrence Seaway changed the course of shipping by opening up the Great Lakes to the global market. Gross registered tonnage for the Seaway's first navigation season was 25.1 million. Since 1959, more than 2.5 billion tons of cargo, estimated at $375 billion, has moved to and from Canada, the United States, and nearly 50 other nations. The crowning moment in the 53-year career of the Simcoe came on the morning of April 25th of 1959. That day, the eyes of the world watched as the small Canada Steamship Line, the ship engaged into the St. Lambert Lock at Montreal. The long heralded St. Lawrence Seaway was ready for customers, and Simcoe was the first freighter to begin the new era on the Great Lakes. Simcoe had formerly sailed the Glen Line and George Hall fleets. The ship had been built by Swan and Wigham Richardson at Wallsend, UK, and launched on March 1st of 1923 at Glencorrie. The 79.55 meter or 260-foot long bulk carrier came to Canada in the spring, and it was delayed at the St. John's NF due to the ice conditions, but soon made the trip to the St. Lawrence to work in the canal trades. In 1925, the 1,783 gross ton Glencorrie, now part of the Hull fleet, loaded the first shipment of pulpwood at Montreal, PQ. The port was to become a major handling center for pulpwood. The vessel joined CSL in 1926 and became the Simcoe the following year. Work was generally routine, but during World War II, an anti-submarine gun was carried due to the menace of the enemy U-boats. The armament was removed at Toronto in 1945. The opening of the Seaway, which brought Simcoe a moment of fame, also spelled the end of usefulness to CSL. No longer needed, the ship was laid up at Kingston, but instead of going for scrap like most of her running mates, Simcoe was sold to the Northern Offshore Drilling Company in 1961 and converted for service as a drilling rig. She would be used to drill gas. Renamed Nordrill, the vessel then worked on Lake Erie in a search for natural gas, initially powered by a triple expansion engine, and after reconstruction by marine outboards, the ship was pulled by a tug beginning in 1968. Nordrill was idle in 1974 after being replaced by the Telesis. Following a sale to marine salvage, the hull was moved to Ramsay's Bend at Port Colborne in October 8th of 1974 for dismantling. From there, well into 1975. And this little brief history of the Simcoe actually comes from the Canada Steamship Lines. So I just wanted to share this with you guys. I love researching ships. And until my next little ship video, I thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.